Welcome back to another exciting episode of Colonial Sports Center. Dave, do you want to start us off what we're going to be doing tonight?
Yeah, tonight we're going to have Bailey Winkle in studio to discuss the men's soccer team and their struggles so far this season.
And then after that, we're going to jump to the preseason poll for the men's hockey team and see where they're expected to finish this season.
We'll also get to see how the women's hockey team did to start their season in exhibition against Ryerson.
And we're going to sit down with our very own football analyst, Sam Anthony, to talk a little bit more about some men's football here at Robert Morris. So, from that, we're going to jump right into some soccer. The Robert Morris Men's Soccer Club faced off against Duquesne on Sunday at the North Athletic Complex with a new recreation center shining in the background. Let's see if the Colonials could reverse the recent losing streak of late. Let's roll the highlights. So, we see here the Colonials and the Dukes. So first we'll see the Colonials pushing the ball down the far side, kicking it to the middle in front of the net, and a good save by the goalie. And then in the second half, we see a long pass to the near corner to a Bailey Winkle, who's in studio tonight, and then a pass back to Zach Sherman, and a lob kick to the front of the net to where Christian Corridon would put it in and tie the Colonials 1-1 with the Dukes. So David, as you can see from that replay, it was a very great pass from Winkle to Sherman, and then eventually with Corridon putting it away.
Yeah, across the field for their only goal of the game, and it's great to see them scoring. But you know they've got to have some defense if they expect to win games.
Absolutely, and it also says something to see. Like Christian is the defending twin of the two Corridons that are on the team, Christian and Christian. So it's kind of weird to see a defender score instead of like the midfielder.
That's right. Yeah, but. I mean, how about the chemistry on this play? I mean, 2 touches before it goes off of the head and into the back of the net.
Absolutely, and it wasn't even like he used his head with a powerful header. It was just enough to push the ball the opposite way the goalie was thinking it was going to go and put it into the side of the net. Exactly. So, I mean, it was an amazing play by Christian Corridon.
Yeah, and you can see the new rec center there right behind as well.
Absolutely. So, the 1-1 tie was certainly a disappointment for the Colonials, who seemingly outplayed the Duquesne Dukes the entire game. They led in shots on goal, 19-14. Their record now falls at 0 wins, 7 losses, and 2 ties. They have one more game against Howard University before they begin conference play against Central Connecticut State. So now we see like how around the conference, how many goals each team's allowed. And as we see here, Robert Morris is the bottom of the list, which isn't a great thing.
I see, and this shows their defensive struggle. But I will say that this season they've scored a goal in every game so far, something that they haven't done in their first 9 contests since 1995. So if they can shore up the defense, they certainly look bright heading into conference.
Absolutely, but is it worth it to say that? It's an amazing stat, but is it worth it to say it whenever they have 2.38 goals allowed every game?
If they can shore up the defense, they'll certainly look good in conference play.
Well, I hope so.
On Saturday, the women's hockey team took the ice for the first time this year in an exhibition against Ryerson. This is our first look at a team that is coming off of a historical year last season, which they finished with a record of 25 wins, just 5 losses, and 6 ties. Their season did not end until they faced the top team in the country, Wisconsin. Will they be able to have another great season? Let's roll the tape and see how they looked in their first exhibition match of the year. It was a scoreless first period for the Colonials, but here we're going to get to see a backhand right in the front of the net that bounces around for the first goal of the year on the ice for the woman. Great goaltending kept Ryerson from tying things up midway through the second, but the Colonials would jump right back on the offensive and get a quick rebound for a goal right here, 2-1 Robert Morris.
Amazing net presence there by the Colonials.
Yeah, so in just a few minutes later, after having a 2-0 lead, Brittany Howard would take the puck, and she shoots, she scores, top right. Colonials take a 3-0 lead. The shutout, though, will not last as Ryerson comes around the back of the net and finds the back of the goal post. And the Colonials would add one more goal before things were all said and done right here when Brittany Howard scores her second goal late in the third for a final score of 4-1.
And it seemed like it was an amazing outcoming by the Colonials there. A lot of chemistry with the passing there too.
Right, and it's a great start to a season for the Colonials, who are coming off of such a good season. Winning 4-1 against Ryerson will certainly bode well heading into the rest of the preseason.
So Like we said earlier, the coaches' preseason poll for the AHC men's division was released yesterday or today, one of the two, and the Colonials were ranked second in the nation with, I think it was 87 or 89 votes in their favor. So that's a positive outlook for the men's hockey team this year. They were only under one team, and that team was Air Force, the Falcons, and the Falcons had 97 goals in this, or 97 votes for the poll. Now, we're going to toss over to our interviewer, Logan, who's sitting down with Bailey Winkle tonight.
Thanks, Greg. I'm here with Bailey Winkle. Bailey, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're going to do a quick question here, and we'll get you more after the break. You transferred here from Drexel. Can you just sum up your 2 years there?
Drexel was a great place to start my NCAA career. It's a very professionally run program. I enjoyed my 2 years there, my 2 seasons there, but unfortunately I had some disagreements with the coaching staff, and I felt I could have been playing more, could have been playing different positions. I wanted to play more in an attacking role. So I thought a switch was made and asked for my release, and thankfully I ended up at RMU.
Yeah, it's a shame it didn't work out for you, but we're thankful that we have you here.
Thanks.
All right, and that will give you more back after the break.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Welcome back to another fun edition of Colonial Sports Center. David, you want to take us away with some women's volleyball?
I do, yeah. The women's volleyball team began Northeast Conference play against St. Francis on this past Friday. Last season, the Colonials swept St. Francis in conference play, and this is a matchup that the team is certainly looking for a win. Before this contest, they upset Rutgers in their home tournament. Would they be able to carry the momentum from that win over into conference play? Let's take a look at how the game unfolded with these highlights. St. Francis got off to a quick start, taking a 5-point lead here early. The Colonials were down, but they're going to show resiliency in this matchup. As they were trying to come back, we see this pivotal point here in the first set, where the Colonials try to keep the point alive, but the extra effort is just not enough. The Colonials will end up dropping the first set, as we'll see as St. Francis continues to build momentum, right here, 25-19. It's tough going on the road and being down 1-0. But as we head into the second set, we see the Colonials start to make a charge. They're up by 6 right here, and even though St. Francis wins this point, they still have a commanding lead that they'll carry throughout the second. Right here, we'll see it at 14-7. Another big point for St. Francis, but it's not going to be enough to come back in the second set that the Colonials will end up winning. As we see them set there, and then they spike. The score is 18-12. But here the Colonials will finally pull away in the second set and end up going 1-1. They'll win the third set, and as we head into the fourth here, we'll get to see the final point of the match. The Colonials spike to win 25-16. And here it is in the fourth set.
I love that graphic there at center court for the red flash. It's a good look for it. Good look for the gymnasium.
Yes, it is. But the Colonials go in there and win 3-1. In their first play in conference, and they swept St. Francis last year, so this should be a great start to the year. Maria Alfano led the Colonials with 14 kills. Emma Granger, in her first conference match, led the team with 3 blocks. As a rookie, she has had a great start to her season, and it's good to see that she was able to carry it over into conference play. The team will continue to build momentum, and they'll play another NEC match this weekend at home.
The golf team recently traveled to Northern Kentucky for their first event of the season this past weekend. This team finished 6th overall out of 15 teams. Individually, Max Palmer finished in a tie for 2nd overall. The second time he has finished runner-up in his career. He shot 70, 75, 68. The final round, 68, was the lowest of his career. Max was the Rookie of the Year for the NEC last season, and he has certainly picked up where he left off. David Szymanski finished with a tie for 12th, individually shooting 7 over for the tournament. He also carded the lowest round of his career at Robert Morris with a 2 under par 69 in the first round. The team had Nick Mahalo making his debut, finishing in a tie for 49th, shooting rounds of 79, 74, and 79. Grant Shoemaker began his senior season shooting rounds of 77, 79, and 74. Next week, the team heads to Cleveland State to play Barrington Country Club.
The women's basketball team recently hired a new assistant coach, Amani Franklin. This will be her first experience as a coach, as she left being the director of women's basketball operations at Winthrop University. While she's just beginning her career coaching, she comes in with a tremendous amount of playing experience. She played for 4 years at the University of Kentucky and went on to play a few years professionally overseas. This experience will certainly influence the team as they try this season to win another NEC championship and make their way to the NCAA tournament as they have the last 2 seasons. Good luck to the women's basketball team.
Robert Morris graduate Anna Nikki Stammelamprou signed with the Swiss professional basketball team Helios VS yesterday. She had a storied career while here at RMU. In her senior year at Robert Morris, she was voted the NEC Player of the Year. She was also nominated nationally for the NCAA Women of the Year Award for 2017. Stammelamprou was also the NEC Tournament MVP back-to-back years in 2016 and 17. She also holds the records for the most made three-point shots in a career at RMU with 283, while owning the record for the most games started with 122 career starts. So, the Colonials traveled to the Wild West to face off against the North Dakota State University Bison after a big win on homecoming at the Joe. They traveled to the very stadium that Carson Wentz played his college career. Let's travel to the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota to see how they fared. Let's play the highlights. And in the recap, we see the Colonials fell to the Bison by a score of 56-0. The redshirt sophomore, Matt Barr, was under center and threw for 13 yards and 3 completions, ending the night with 2 interceptions. As an offense, they tallied a minimal 57 yards. Cole Blake led the charge on the ground with 50 yards and an average of 3.8 yards per carry. On the other side of the ball, North Dakota State University had no trouble against the RMU defense. The Bison put up 450 yards as a unit. Their leading passer was Easton Stick with 132 yards with 11 completions on 15 attempts. He also had 2 touchdowns on the night. A rough road game for the Colonials. And now we're going to get to see that the Colonials have lost their first 2 games, and unfortunately this game made a third. So, now
we've got the upcoming football schedule on screen right here. And, we're going to get things headed to East Tennessee. It's going to be their homecoming weekend after our bye weekend this weekend. What do you expect?
Well, I'm expecting that the Colonials are going to look a little bit more rested and healthy, hopefully, after seeing that Jimmy Walker didn't play there in North Dakota. So hopefully they're all rested up and ready to go. So I'm expecting a little bit of competition from the Colonials. But yet again, they're also going to a homecoming game after a bye week. So it all depends on how they're feeling.
Yeah, and we'll see. And they'll be heading into conference play. And who do they start conference play against?
They start conference play actually against Duquesne. So that's a big game, considering that it's cross city. And actually, beside us now, we have our football analyst, Sam Anthony. Sam, thanks for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So, considering that they're getting ready to start NEC play soon, was the North Dakota State really a big part in their season, or?
You know what? It was what John Banaszak came in and he described it as a program-defining game, and that's in the sense that if they went and they beat them, it would have been the greatest upset in the history of the program, because North Dakota State's phenomenal. They've won 5 of the last 7 national championships, and you can't take that away from such a talented team that has 20 more scholarships every year than Robert Morris. So really, a lot of this was just to see, you know, what's the best of the best and to kind of gauge that for Robert Morris. But this isn't the kind of competition you're going to see in the Northeast Conference. So in terms of how they're going to finish the season, this game was not significant in any way.
All right. But before we get to your conference play, we're going to travel on the road to East Tennessee. And we've only won 1 road game over the last 3 years. What do you think we should expect from the football team?
You can expect a lot from the Colonials this year. One thing that's been a significant improvement is just their overall offense. There was a team last year that was really young. They're still younger this year, but they've developed, you know, that offensive line's still a lot of true freshmen. But when you come in with a regular quarterback, at this point last year, Robert Morris was down to their 4th-string quarterback in Joe Carroll. I mean, that's just such a tough situation. They have a consistent quarterback, someone in Jimmy Walker who can contribute. He's going to be back. He's going to be healthy. He was cleared to play against North Dakota State, but they did not clear him to play just out of like safety concerns. It wasn't worth it. And a team like East Tennessee was projected to finish 9th, actually just ahead of VMI, who Robert Morris handily defeated. So when you're going into that matchup, it's a road matchup, and it's in a brand new stadium in East Tennessee, but you got to look at the Colonials and that offense that has been phenomenal, and that defense will stay consistent in that shutout win. I like their odds.
Speaking of that offense, I mean, we know the quarterback situation, but what about the running back situation? What do we have going on there?
So that's tricky, David. That's actually a really great question, in this fact that Robert Morris has seen 3 different running backs get the most reps on the team this season, and that's TJ Neal, Harrison Dreher, and Cole Blake. And really, when it comes down to it, the 2 that you have to keep an eye on are Cole Blake and Harrison Dreher. And Harrison Dreher, probably the number 1 in the sense that he's a guy who can not only run with the ball really well, but once he gets in the open field on a reception, he's phenomenal. You saw him with a 15-yard touchdown grab against VMI. He's phenomenal. He's a guy that did not play all of last year. He was redshirted. He comes in, and watch out. His next 4 years are going to be legendary at Robert Morris.
So speaking of the running back situation, who are you predicting to see the rest of the time as a like a 1-2 combo?
It's definitely going to be, you're going to see more Dreher than Cole Blake and TJ Neal, but it's going to go, most likely it's going to go Harrison Dreher and then Cole Blake, because Cole Blake, one, he's experienced, he's a veteran, he's a guy who, you know, really worked to come back after tearing his ACL last season, but also a guy that people view as a leader. He's somebody that you really want on the field in that sense, that he's he demands a presence, and that's something that we haven't seen yet in Dreher, who's, you know, a young player. And when it comes to, you know, being more of a power back, that's Cole Blake as well. So you're going to see the 2 of them kind of based on situations.
Well, in my opinion, that's a great lineup for the Robert Morris Colonials. So now, when we come back, we're going to have Logan Carney sitting down with Winkle, and more questions to come.
Stay tuned.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Look at you.
You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. I'm Logan Carney here with Bailey Winkle of the men's soccer team. Once again, thank you for joining us, Bailey. Now, we're going to get back into our questions. I asked you earlier before the break what it was like your 2 years at Drexel. What was the adjustment like whenever you transferred from Drexel to Robert Morris?
It certainly was a big adjustment. I mean, even the schools were different. In Drexel, I was downtown Philadelphia, right in the city. So coming to a suburban school was a little different, not what I was used to in university. But, I mean, I have a lot of friends here. There's 6 of us Canadians on the team. I know all of them. So it was pretty easy to get used to them and to get used to the rest of the guys. So, I mean, it wasn't too big. I mean, I was nervous at first, but once you come in and start playing with the guys, it's pretty easy.
Now, what about the transition from Canada to Drexel? Even though, you know, Philadelphia, huge city, Toronto, huge city, so may not have been that big of a difference in that sense. But again, going to different countries, that's got to be a big adjustment.
That was definitely a bigger adjustment. I mean, I was still, you know, a high school student, still only 18, so, you know, you're nervous about leaving home, you're nervous about not seeing your family, and just getting used to college life in general is different. Getting used to the NCAA training, getting up every morning, you know, training twice a day in the preseason. It's different, but, you know, after one semester, you get used to it. You know, you don't miss home as much, and, you know, you find new friends at your school. So, yeah, it's not bad.
Now, you're in your second year starting for the Colonials, full-time.
Yep.
How did the experience last year help you this year?
I mean, last year, it was a little slower for me stats-wise, so definitely it helped me this season. I mean, I've already surpassed my stats total this season, so just getting used to the guys last year. We have pretty much the same 11 coming on this year, so there's a lot more chemistry on the team. I feel more comfortable with the players. You kind of know the strengths of guys, and you know how to play with them. So, yeah, the second year is definitely going to be better than the first one.
Now, you mentioned that, you know, you improved your stats, and you improved them significantly. I mean, we're only not even into conference play, and you already have 6 times as many goals as you did all of last season.
Yes.
Is there anything you did differently, training-wise, or, you know, some players have ritual-wise or anything like that, that you could explain for the big jump in goals?
Training-wise, you know, I usually always train the same way. I've been playing soccer for a long time, so I think it's mostly a mentality thing. You know, I really sat down after last season, really thought about my game, thought about what I needed to do to get better, to score more goals, get more points. And I think the main difference is just I'm goal-orientated now. I want to go to goal all the time. I want to get the ball forward. You know, that's my first option. Instead of getting the ball to my feet, I want it in front of me so I can run onto it. You know, I think I'm faster than most players, so if I get the ball into space and run onto it, you know, I'm in on goal. So, yeah, just little things.
Yeah. Now, your record is 0-7-2. But the scores tell a different story than the record do. Every game except for the first one was decided by a goal.
Yep.
Those were all non-count efforts too, so in reality, you know, they don't really matter in the end because the conference games are the ones that get you to the playoffs and everything like that. What's the feeling around the team right now after that stretch? And how do you guys, you know, get coming into conference play? Like get into conference play, what is the mentality around it?
I mean, when you're 0-7-2, I mean, obviously there's going to be times when you're hanging your head, you're upset, you know, guys are just like, oh, you know, what's going on, what are we doing? But I think the majority of us are strong enough to pick ourselves up, to keep going, to just look at the next game and always want to win. You know, you don't want to get into a losing mentality, a losing habit. You want to keep going forward, you know, always looking for a win. And, I mean, the guys are working. We're not giving up. Like you said, you know, conference hasn't started yet. So once you hit conference, it's 0-0. That's what our coach always says. So, you know, we're just looking forward to that first game and getting our first win.
Now, your next opponent is Howard. How do you guys think you guys are going to do against Howard? Any, you know, things that worry you about them? Any things that you guys think you can exploit? Just overall, the game, your thoughts on the game coming up.
You know, Howard's a team we played in the past. They've struggled like us in the past, so, you know, we think we're the better team, and we're going to play like we're the better team. We're going to keep the ball. We're going to try and, you know, maintain possession, get more shots than them, you know, just get more goals and then win the game. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Howard. I think we can get our first win there. And we've been training. We had a week off, so we're good to go.
Now, moving past Howard, who are the teams that you guys are going to watch out for whenever conference play does start? Because, again, like you said, 0-0-0, you guys are still very much in this. So who are the teams that you feel that are going to be the biggest threat to winning a conference title?
I mean, both the St. Francis teams are always good. I mean, St. Francis, PA is the reigning champions, so we're going to look out for them. LIU Brooklyn's always good, especially the past couple years. They have a lot of good players, so we're definitely worried about them. And Farley Dickinson, actually, a team that has kind of struggled in this conference in years past, is actually nationally ranked now, and they're doing very well. So that's definitely a game we want to prepare for, and paying special attention to them.
Now we're just going to wrap this up here. You're finally a senior. Your last season is a collegiate career. Just recap your entire soccer career up to, like, is there a moment that just stands out in your soccer career up to this point?
I've been playing for a long time, so there's a lot of moments. When I was younger, I got the opportunity to play in Europe, which was amazing. I got the opportunity to play for my provincial team. I'm Canadian, so I played for Ontario. I had some looks for the youth national team, so all those moments are big moments, especially playing in the NCAA, playing for Robert Morris. They're all good moments. I appreciate my soccer career. I'm proud of it, and hopefully we can add some more moments this year.
Well, thank you for joining me
Thanks
again,
for having
Bailey
me.
Winkle. I'm Logan Carney, and when we be back, we'll be sending it back over to the desk right after this. Good job.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of Colonial Sports Center. Now, this weekend's going to be a big weekend for the Colonials. A lot of the teams are starting their conference play this weekend.
Right, as we head into the fall, teams open up with out-of-conference play, and being a smaller school like Robert Morris is, teams tend to struggle early in the year. And as we head into conference play, that's typically, as Winkle was just saying, teams start 0-0 when we get to conference play. So we've got the volleyball team starting conference play, as well as the football team. And the volleyball team will be playing Sacred Heart and FDU this weekend.
And then the women's soccer team, I do believe, is playing Bryant this weekend, right?
They are, yeah. They'll kick off conference play against Bryant. And the men's hockey team will be playing Ottawa as well.
And absolutely. And don't you have a golf meet coming up soon?
I do, yeah. The golf team will be traveling to Cleveland State, Barrington Country Club this weekend. We leave on Sunday in what should be an exciting week for Colonial sports all around.
Absolutely. So good luck on that this weekend for you personally, since you're on the show and I see you every week. So good luck with that that meet there.
Great.
And that's all we have from you guys tonight. If you want to wrap it up, David, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight, guys, and we'll see you next week on Colonial Sports Center.